I consider the public sector to be a gold mine, in terms of information that is within the purview of the public sector. Unfortunately, most people don't understand the value of that information, so it is not treated with the same respect that you would accord a thing of value. It is, left in files, gathering dust, and not used, the way it should. In the private sector, on the other hand, there's material intellectual capital, which is why it is important that both sectors, that there's a revolving door that people can go in and out so that they acquire the skills they need to respect the information and to be able to analyze it and translate it to value. I thought it was useful when I came to NIPC that I did not come with, I have all the answers to all the issues. I've learned, in the 5 years that I've been here, I'm probably the person who has learned the most. Because I'd been an investment banker selling particular companies, to investors to raise capital and advising them on all manner of aspects of business. But I'd never done investment promotion from an altruistic perspective, which is what an IPA does. So everything I know about investment promotion, I learned 100% from staff of NIPC. I think coming with that attitude of willing to learn, I'm not an expert, coming to teach you was useful. There were many skills that I came with that I think for those who wanted to do the work, they actually found appealing that there was somebody that existed that they could learn those things from. And like the Dalai Lama, I believe that the only way to live forever is to teach people the things you know. I don't teach people because I want to live forever. I teach them because the better able those that work with me are, the more it actually allows me to do more. I don't have to do the things that they can then do. But I was very impressed by the intensity of the interest of those that were interested. It wasn't 100% of the people, obviously. In life, you always have to deal with the 80-20 rule. But I was very impressed that there were a material number of people. And I did my best to lead from the front. I wasn't sitting in the sidelines saying, go in the trenches, go and do the work. I rolled up my sleeves. We did it together. I tried to share a picture of what was possible. I remember, I believe it was in April 2017, where we got a large domestic investor come into NIPC to speak to staff about what is possible, in the context of domestic direct investment. So I did my best to open the minds of staff. I challenged people to read widely. If you like learning, if you were a diamond in the rough, if you thought you had capacity, you just did not have the opportunity. I found many people grabbed that and ran with it. Some people did not like it because I believe very much in rewarding those who are doing the work. And I guess previously there was a different reward style that was, I don't even know what basis it was determined on. But I loved the setting up a presentation team, and charging them to take materials, ordinary materials, regular stuff, and translating it into interesting pieces for investors to engage. I was encouraged by those who were interested in learning just for the sake of learning. And I tried to give as much as I gave. And I guess many people became more excited about the work as they found that they could actually do more than they thought they could. So that's, helped in encouraging people to buy this dream. I'd like to close the loop. I'd like all government agencies focused on what does the investor need to get comfortable and how do we give it to them? What are the issues that investors have and how do we solve it? Where does an investor want to invest in Nigeria and how do we make it possible? I would like that to be the general way that all of us think. Because to help Nigeria fully achieve her investment her economic aspirations, economic ambitions. We actually need investors to make, that translation. We need policies that are bold. We need policies that are coherent. But we also need to set policies that are realistic in terms of the targets and the milestones. It'll be great to get some low-hanging fruits, which will encourage all of us, that there is proof of life, to prove the concept and encourage to do even more. In my 5 years in NIPC and my travels across Nigeria, I've been humbled. There isn't a single part of Nigeria, there isn't a single state in Nigeria that is not materially endowed to, even on a standalone basis, have the capacity to attract an impressive number of investors. There isn't a single state in Nigeria that doesn't have that capacity. Elevating it, making it easier for investors to convert after we've infused them with that knowledge, I think is an important part of the work that needs to be done in the future. Investment capital flows have been falling not only in Nigeria but globally. So it's important to first put it in context. It didn't start with COVID. Globally, investment flows have been under pressure since about 2015. COVID only exacerbated it. For Nigeria to win this game of capital inflows, we essentially need to, in the context of what salespeople say that the customer is king, we need to treat investor as king. There's plenty that Nigeria is selling, and Nigeria is materially blessed. I'm actually really humbled by the prospect of Nigeria Inc. From a human capital perspective, from an agrarian perspective, from a mineral wealth perspective, from an intellectual capital perspective, from a locational, geographical perspective, from a can-do spirit of the people perspective, Nigeria is materially blessed. But to get investors to come, we have to respect the fact that capital is king and that capital goes where it is courted and where it is made comfortable. So we have to do everything that we can to get investors across the board, whether they're domestic or foreign, whether they're portfolio or direct. Because all are important in the spectrum of investment generation. Five years is a short time in the life of an organization to introduce something that the organization was previously unused to. So before I came to NIPC, there was nothing like a report on investment announcements. In fact, NIPC had only for 1 month been putting out the newsletter, and I don't know whether there were any plans for building on that newsletter, but I saw potential in the newsletter, which is what led to the report on investment announcements. What NIPC does by gathering that information is not unique to NIPC, and there's nothing wrong with it. They're international data aggregators that actually sell the data. In fact, we have a subscription at NIPC to one of such services, and what they do is no different from what NIPC does in terms of gathering investment announcements. They do it on a global scale, we do it for Nigeria. So there's nothing wrong with it. And we're very clear when that report goes out that it is a report on investment announcement. I guess it's the excitement of the public. When they see a report, they see investment, they don't notice the word announcement. They just assume that investments have come in. But the report is very clear. They're announcements, not actual investments. Now that process of tracking announcements is an important step in getting to the point of supporting such investments so that they convert from announcement to actual investment. If you don't know first that they exist, if you don't have full details of them, you cannot take them to the next level. And it's been 5 years first of aggregating this data. In that time, we've also tried to build internal capacity to Not so much to validate all of them, because NIPC will never have the capacity to do so. But what is more important is NIPC supporting those announcements to ensure that the challenges that they face in converting from announcement to actual investment, those challenges can be resolved. And that is internal work that NIPC needs to continue to do. Yeah, so I will always wish NIPC well. I mean, 5 years is a long time to spend in anybody's life. I found many gems. I found many diamonds in the rough. I found an incredible number of people that are committed to the cause of Nigeria, despite the limitation of the resources that they've always got. I wish there would be more people that would buy into that dream of on an altruistic basis, selling Nigeria. But I believe that my successor, building on this foundation, can only but take NIPC to the next level. And if NIPC fully achieves its objectives, it will be in Nigeria's best interest. The picture I have in my mind of where Nigeria should be from an investment generation perspective is a skyscraper of tens of hundreds of floors. To build that skyscraper, you first need to ensure that the appropriate foundation is laid, even though the reality of building a foundation is that those who stand at ground level will not see the work that you're doing, because most of it is below ground level. A lot of the work that has happened over the last 5 years has infused, the organization, to the staff with the foundational skills they need to build that skyscraper. So I will be looking with keen interest to seeing the skyscraper come out of the ground, get to the first floor, get to the second, and become the multi-story building that, in my mind, I believe NIPC is capable of.
Thank you so very much.